4 best of 5s, guys. $500 per usual on the Friday night. I hope that they are vetoing in whispers because they are kind of ignoring me on Battle.net. But any progress, my friends? Take a look at their profiles. Alluton currently sitting at 5,247. ZaRDieNT, I think he's 5-3, or ZaRDieNT. Yeah, I think I played him the other day. Okay. So it seems based on the MMR, ZaRDieNT is doing a little bit hotter on the ladder. But that is just MMR. Alluton is a fellow Phoenix enjoyer. They have vetoed. Apparently we're gonna open things up on LC1. I will host with Gameheart. Indy is not here, but Roddy is here. And I can host too. We're gonna play on LC1, Golden Aura, Solaris, Oceanborn, and if we get there, a side a Delta. Alright, ready when you are. Let's go. Little 5.3k community action. 2 guys that have never played before. Probably have never played a single best of 5 before. With A, this amount of people watching, and B, guaranteed prize money immediately. So it's obviously an awesome opportunity for them. Makes me happy, and I hope that they have prepared to the best of their abilities. And that they're going to give us one hell of a show. I have to make sure that we are on Team Liquid. But yes, we are. Let's go. Dude. Time for some BBB. Friday night, 6 p.m. You know it. Now, I don't know how the BBB is going to look in the upcoming week, guys. Because we obviously have some DreamHack qualifiers coming up. Then we've got TwitchCon in Las Vegas that I will be attending. And after that, we've got the DreamHack Masters. But I will keep you guys updated and keep an eye on the Basilisk socials. And we'll let you guys know. Next Friday, I want to say I think we should be here. But it could already be a DreamHack qualifier. And if there is a DreamHack qualifier, then I really call it DreamHack. But I mean ESL Winter Championships, obviously a DreamHack Atlanta qualifier. If that is the case, then there will not be Big Brain Bouts next week. But I'll dive into that. For now, let's go ahead and enjoy 4 best of 5s. Guaranteed prize money for all of them.
Let's get it on. Round 1, fight.
And I am very curious to see how this man is going to play. They've been talking about his weird and crazy builds in the Discord for a while. And I said, alright, if we've got a new patch and we've got a new map pool, I, for one, am down to watch some crazy Terran builds, I guess. In the bottom left side, a Russian Terran player, also known as ZaRDieNT, playing under ZaRDieNT. And I guess we'll call him ZaRDieNT throughout the evening, because that is how I know him. That's how he is known on Illegal and stuff as well. In the top right side, we are looking at the main base of a man from Finland. I used to battle with this dude all the time. I don't know if he's ever taken a break. He's always been very active on the StarCraft 2 subreddits and whatnot. I know that he's a Phoenix enjoyer. I personally struggle a bit making the Phoenix work in this match. At least in this matchup. In the other matchups we're still fine. But in this matchup I struggle. I wonder if he is going to show me the way. This is Alluton. $60 for the winner, 15 for the loser, guys. For our opening series of the night. Now, obviously, with all this talk about Cyclones and the new patch and all the things that Terran can do, you can't forget about the old stuff that is still there, right? Like, Marines are still good. Widowmine drops are still good. A Hellion drop is still going to be good. So, we can talk about Cyclones for days, but there is not necessarily a guarantee that we're going to see a whole bunch of Cyclones. And on top of that, I think in every level it's going to be a bit different. I think the Cyclone has a lot of potential at lower MMR. Now these guys are obviously not top tier European pro gamers, but they are pretty good. They have a good idea of how to play StarCraft. They will know what works and doesn't work. How will the Cyclone look at this level? I don't know. I have lost against Terrans around this level myself, but that's obviously also somewhat normal. When a unit goes through such drastic changes, yeah, it just takes a little while before you really get used to it. First Reaper just goes into the main base, and the Adept is chilling in the absolute middle of nowhere. So one probe has died in the main. The second probe is awfully close to dying, but it will live. Not really the way that I would love to start off my PvT, but maybe Alluton has something very spicy in mind. Warp Gate was a little bit late, and I was even wondering if he's ever going to get Warp Gate. Now, ignoring that Reaper at home seemed like a questionable call at the moment, but now the Adept has made it in time to the other side of the map. And this CC just has the wrapping paper on, but obviously if it's not done, you can't morph it into an orbital. And maybe it's an alrighty start now for Alluton. First Cyclone is in production. I don't know if we wanted to do the swap rule, but he decides not to do it because you don't want to let the adepts in. And this has to be pretty annoying. What is the Reaper up to on the other side of the map? He's trying to pick off probes that are being... Oh! Ah! That would have been a cool probe kill. If you would have been able to nail that, that would have been a cool probe kill. Unfortunately, he's not able to nail it. It is a Phoenix though, guys. I guess I like Phoenixes still more than I like Oracles in this matchup, but I will stay away from making any bold statements, but I'm really curious to see how this one plays out, because it just seems pretty hard to go up to 3 bases as quickly as we did in the past and be as confident as we were in the past as Protoss players. But 2-base Phoenix builds obviously is not that intimidating, especially not if the Terran opens up triple CC. We can already see that ZaRDieNT is enjoying triple CC. Alluton does not know, and he might be worried about some early Cyclone aggression. Build order-wise, I do not like this for our Finnish Protoss. Now, he is a good Phoenix player though, like I've definitely been impressed by him in the past. I've played a lot of Phoenix against Phoenix games against him as well. I think he's got a very good understanding of what makes the unit strong and where to make it shine. But this, on paper, is terrible. Like, we are on 2 bases for a long time. We're not gonna get, I think, well, we can kill Marines. That is not a problem. But we're not gonna get very good traits against these Cyclones. And Phoenixes in general always shine a little bit more in low eco games than they do in high eco games. This is already going to hurt a lot, my friend. You cannot do this with Phoenixes in this match. First 2 Phoenixes die and the third one barely survives. It was a questionable start, now it's a terrible start. That is, I have no idea even what you're supposed to do from here on out. I guess he's gonna build Immortals and maybe Zealots with charge, but this is looking very, very, very dire for the opening map of the Big Brain Bouts. Like, these Cyclones by themselves can win this game. Cyclone good against Void Ray? Yeah, I think so. Void Rays just don't have too much micro potential, and that makes them always bad at high level. Well, that next we need to cancel it immediately, and he does cancel it. Ay, guys. 4 Cyclones being built at a time. Sometimes 5 Cyclones at a time. 2 more factories coming online. A very early Ghost Academy, too. Maybe that is to land an EMP down the line. Obviously, Ghost is going to be good against Immortals, too. Looking very rough for the man from Finland. Well, I don't know what Alluton peaked at MMR, guys, but I think a long time ago I've seen him at like 5.6. Maybe he even had 5.7 once upon a time, but I'm talking about a couple of years ago. And a lot of people, if they don't play all the time, your MMR just kind of slowly but steady goes down over time at the higher levels because everybody else just gets so freaking good in StarCraft. Yeah, right now he's hovering around 5.2, 5.3, but if I think back of the days I used to play Alluton all the time, at the very bare minimum 5.5, but I think he's been 5.7, 5.8. This game, it looks very dire. We do have an Immortal that is going to at least able to land a single shot. I mean, Guardian is up, or ZaRDieNT rather. ZaRDieNT. It's very confusing. There is, but on that name is ZaRDieNT. He's up 11 workers. He's spamming Cyclones. There isn't really, I think, a moment where you can say like, oh, the Cyclone falls off. Maybe if the Protoss has like carriers and disruptors, the Cyclone falls off, but everything up to that point, I feel like the Cyclone does pretty good against. Spanish God says, I still think the toss has a chance. I always feel so behind against Cyclones, and then the Terran just dies. I will be so impressed if Alluton wins this game. Because I just don't see anything going for him. He will have, I guess, a couple of Immortals. That is the best part. We have 2 Immortals. But 2 Immortals are not going to kill 22 Cyclones, man. It's just, I really don't think it's going to happen. Don't forget about the fact that ZaRDieNT can also obviously spam out a whole bunch of Hellions. And let's just call him ZaRDieNT, actually, because otherwise it's going to be too annoying. I'm going to call him ZaRDieNT, ZaRDieNT, and that's going to be even more frustrating. So I'll just go with the nickname that he's currently rocking on Battle.net. I feel there is no way for Alluton, but I want to be wrong. And I am still learning on the new maps and on the new patch. Some of these fights are very weird. I have won fights I didn't think I was going to win, and I've definitely lost a couple of fights in very one-sided manners that I didn't think I was going to lose. If I was playing this game, I would think that I'm Omega super dead. But hey, I'm not playing, I'm just watching. Maybe Alluton can make magic happen. I just... Yeah. Near a guardian, maybe with a guardian shield and a shield battery and 4 immortals being well protected, a bit of micro. I guess you can say that the dream is always alive. If we're gonna fight on the other side of the map, I really don't see it. I truly love that very quick early ghost as well. Just one ghost being able to land an EMP on this Protoss army. It is surprising Showtime will play Spirit twice today. I don't know if that's surprising. I mean, you can say that it's a coincidence, but it's not quite surprising. I asked the guys a couple days ago, and they said yes. I did not know they were going to play today in Wadi's tournament. Well, that is a dead Nexus, by the way. We're not going to cancel that, so that's 400 minerals down the drain. Yeah, I've actually played against this man in the previous patch, and he was already playing mech, so... I think I had a very close mech game against him on Ancient. I thought he had me a couple of times, but then in the end I barely had him. Mech is a lot more terrifying, I think, in this patch than it was in the previous one. I do think he has shown a lot of respect to this Protoss army. I kind of felt that we could have taken out these rocks maybe, and then just hover around in this area and get in and out of range. Try to get some value out of all those lock-ons. They were quick, he had his upgrades. How did you beat him? With carriers and disruptors, but that was the previous patch. With carriers and disruptors, you can almost destroy any mech army unless they have like mass BC. Seems that Alluton is going to try to set up a bit of a surround. Has a couple of immortals coming in from the left. The Cyclones are just going to move forward, full of confidence that they're going to wipe the floor of this Protoss army. We do have these units coming in from the left. There is one tank that has fallen, but the Cyclones are just smashing their way through. The start was amazing for ZaRDieNT, aka Guardian, and he takes a pretty convincing 1-0 lead. Yeah, we just got 0 value out of the Stargate opening, though. Like, opening up with 3 Phoenix. And of course, like, we can complain about the Cyclone. I know a lot of you guys want to complain about the Cyclone. I don't really enjoy it too much because I still think it's too early. And I think that all of us, well, not all, but at least in my own games, I keep on realizing I make mistakes that are unforced errors. They're not there because the Cyclone is OP. The mistakes were made because I'm new to the maps, I'm new to the patch, yada yada. You cannot open up with 3 Phoenix and basically lose 2 out of 3 and get nothing done. It doesn't matter what you open up against. 3 Racks, Widow Mines, Cyclones in this case. If you open up 3 Phoenix, you lose 2 out of 3 immediately. You're going to be in a lot of trouble. That's just the way it is. There is a chance that all the games are going to look like this. And if that's the case, I will obviously be a bit sad. But let's hope that Alluton can learn a thing or two about that game. And things will be a bit closer on Golden Aura. Yeah, that was not the start that we were looking for. Even losing the probe in the main base against the Reaper, that sucked obviously a little bit. But then getting such a nice delay on the natural, I think kind of made up for it. But yeah, and then not being aware of the super quick 3rd CC, and by the time that we were aware of it, we were just in too much trouble. Both nerds are ready. And let's just go ahead and hop into game 2 immediately. After this, guys, we've got a ZVT between Foxer and Fjont. Fjont still looking for his first win ever on the Friday night. I never give him easy opponents, but the kiddo has been doing great on the ladder lately. He's placed in every single tournament. Took out a couple of big names in some of the online tournaments as well, so I really thought it was time to give Fjonty boy another chance. And Foxer lost last time against Spacey Macy, so he can also take this opportunity to show us he can do better in the TVZ matchup.
Round 2, fight!
In the top left side of Golden Aura, we are looking at the main base of the man who lost 2 out of 3 Phoenixes way too quick and expanded way later than his opponent. And then you're always in a whole lot of trouble in this matchup. Can we turn things around? Can we find a way to deal with the Cyclones? This is Alluton. I think Fjont tonight is a better Fjont than we've ever seen. And yeah, I hope that he can finally show it, because I know that he gets very nervous in the big brain bouts and whatnot. But Fjont is such an awesome kid, and he's been playing so much. He has really made great progress. So I hope we get to see the very best of him. Bottom right side, we are looking at the main base of the Russian Terran player, taking a very convincing 1-0 lead off the back of a whole bunch of Cyclones. This is ZaRDieNT, aka Guardian, or ZaRDieNT. Too many names. We know that he plays Terran, he's from Russia, and he loves mech. Even in the old patch, he loved mech. There are a couple Terrans out there, guys, that have been meching it happen for years against Protoss. And they're going to be pretty happy right now. Now, obviously, not everyone is all of a sudden going to be good, because you still need good macro, good mini-map awareness, good game sense. But yeah, if you're already a mech enjoyer, you should be able to gain some MMR on this patch. I'd be very surprised if your life got worse. If you were already playing mech, and you still want to play mech, I can't imagine life got worse. Thank you, Kook. I have no idea how to pronounce your name, mate. TV? Someone who's the CCTV. It's probably not what you were going for, but that's what I'm going for. The Neo Cyclone isn't that much better versus DOS. Maybe not against Twilight or Robo openings, but I think against Stargate it is light years better. I always like playing against Cyclones. Now I don't like playing against Cyclones. It's still early, I keep on saying that, guys. But I have now played, I think, enough TVPs to at least tell you that I think playing against Cyclones is a whole lot harder with Phoenix than it was before. With Oracles, I don't really know. I think back of Harstem's game against Future, where Harstem did lose an Oracle, but he still held. I also think of Classic opening up with an Oracle against Clem and dying at minute 3. So I don't know. Alluton is going to switch it up though, guys. We are going to go for the 1-gate fast expand Twilight Council. I think 4-gate Blink Stalker will still be good here. Thank you, Din, comment for the 4 months. I just hope that we have a bit of a series. Last week we had an amazing first Big Brain Bouts on the Neo map pool and on the Neo patch. I feel that all 4 series had their moments. The main event was obviously fireworks. I hope that tonight we'll get close to that level of excitement. And if we can do somehow even better, I'd be stunned. Because last week was up there. I do like the fact that we're going for Blink here. I was kind of worried for a split second that we're going to see something very weird. And I was like, let's not spam Resonating Glaive Adepts or something. That is an early Fusion Core. So I guess we have a bit of a Battle Cruiser opening here. What are we going to do with this Tech Lab? BCs, guys. On the side of ZaRDieNT. Could be a Marine tank push with a single BC. That is actually a build that Special did for a while in the previous patch. And some of those BC builds, I know that people always think whenever there is a very early BC that it's a meme build and it's not serious. But I think some of these Battlecruiser builds are actually pretty damn hard to deal with. Especially if you don't have a shield battery in your main, but he does. So that should make life a little bit easier. But I think 4-gate Twilight should technically be fine here. And we can obviously go for charge immediately right after we go for blink. But the first push, if there is going to be a push, can still be pretty gnarly to deal with. No, he's not going for Liberated. Nobody goes for a Liberated that early on 2 bases. Unless maybe like the starport is proxied, or we have like a slightly different opening where the idea is like, alright, a medevac drop in the natural, Liberator in the main. But like this, you don't really ever open up Liberator. It had to be BCs. No way a BC opener survives against 4-gate blink, surely. I technically think it can. I don't see any reason why it wouldn't. Because I think you can have certain pushes arrive on the other side of the map that are strong. Now, if the Battlecruiser jumps to the other side of the map, and then the Stalkers blink on top of the tank, yeah, then the Terran player can be in trouble. He actually hasn't scouted at all, and he's going for triple CC. Oh my god, it jumps to the other side of the map, guys. The BC jumps to the other side of the map. Sure, that's going to be annoying for Alluton, but now Alluton can just roam into the main base, jump in there, get on top of the first Cyclone. There is one more tank. Second Cyclone dies very quickly as well. I mean, both of them are probably going to lose a decent amount of workers. It is probes that are dying first. Alluton should be able to manage this. Okay, that is actually kind of bad news. 3 out of 4 gateways do get unpowered. Ay. Dude, 3 out of 4 gateways are unpowered. Do we perhaps need to recall, or do we just keep on... I don't know. No, maybe not. I think it's better to stick around. He's gonna blink forward, try to get on top of this tank as well, and that is enough to kill the tank. Now, there is absolutely nothing in the main base of Terran. There are still 4 stalkers that Alluton was banking up in the natural, and at least, guys, I am pretty confident in saying that I think we're all tied up as this BC will fall. There are still stalkers in the main. Just like that, guys. Alluton ties things up. I really wonder how this would have gone if the BC would have just stayed at home, because I don't think the stalkers can ever deal that much damage. Roddy gets paid today? Because we're all tied up? Roddy always gets paid, mate. Even if I do the worst job imaginable. If I just miss everything, the observing is terrible, the energy is low. Basilisk is too good to me. But it's always nice to start off one apiece. Not the greatest game so far, but that's alright. It's obviously once more new patch, new maps, everybody's learning. I'm just happy to see that we're tied up. And now I think the pace has at least been set. Alluton wins the game pretty convincingly. ZaRDieNT won game 1 pretty convincingly. Let's see what game 3 will bring then. Ready? Yay, Roddy casting. We've been going for a while, mate. 4 hours, 27 minutes. I also had to drive to Belgium again this morning. Well, I wasn't driving. I was just supporting my lady. So, it's been a long day, but at least it's been a lot better than Monday. Monday was a bit rougher, but today is pretty doable. Steadfast with the raid. Thank you, matey. Hopefully, you enjoyed the games today. Hopefully, you were cheering a little bit for Basilisk secretly. Thank you, Rockets, as well. Waiting for 2 years. Love the passion. You make me want to play SC. If there was ever a good time to play some SC again, guys, I really think it's right now. I know that some people disagree with that. They're like, Cyclones, patch bad, but come on, guys. 9 maps. They all look pretty. A whole lot of stuff to explore. I think this is a great time to play a bit of StarCraft.
Round 3. Fight!
Bottom left side of Solaris. Solaris is the map with all the speed zones, by the way. The green bubbles are speed zones. It makes everything go a bit quicker. We're looking at the main base of the man from Finland. Used to be a Reddit warrior. I don't know if he's still active on Reddit or not, but I know he's a very passionate individual. Good to see him still play StarCraft after all these years. It is Alluton. By the way, Steadfast, whenever you're ready, if you ever want to redeem yourself on the Friday night, I hope you know that we love to have you. I know it didn't work out against Multi last time around, but if you're feeling it, mate, if you are cooking, if you got a couple of cool builds, you just hit me up. I'd love to see some Statfest again. In the top right side, we are looking at the main base of a Russian Terran player. A mech enjoyer. It's probably going to be mech all 5 games. This is ZaRDieNT playing under Guardian. You're down? Holla at your boy Roddy. You know where to find me. Statfest versus Graph community show match. Graph just played. There are other nerds and we can give a shot. And isn't Graph just a gamer? Not necessarily a community member? Just taking a look at one thing quickly, guys. Confused about what's happening here. Statfest vs Saw main event. That is actually the match that I wanted to make a while ago. Because I know that they ran into each other on the ladder a couple of times and they're pretty evenly matched. So I would have liked to see it, but back then it didn't work out. Alluton is going to go for Twilight Council once more. Maybe learn this lesson very quickly. Unlike Roddy, guys. Roddy plays Stargate, keeps on losing, goes Stargate again, loses another game, goes Stargate again. Alluton opens up Stargate one time and says, alright, that's it, never again. Does end up losing a probe here, but the Reaper is stuck. I think I'm always okay with losing a probe for a Reaper. Does suck that he also lost a probe on the other side of the map. But you do probably want to get an early shield battery in your natural, though. even if you go for Stalkers as the follow-up, I think once you scout this, I would probably try to at least get one shield battery in my natural. Maybe you don't need it at all, but I have lost some fights that I really did not expect to lose. And even when you, let's say, camp on the high ground and you see Cyclones come up a ramp, you're like, oh, I'm fine, right? And then you're not fine. If you don't have a battery, it can just be game over immediately. We need to get a full-on caster rumble. I've tried to make it happen, but you have no idea how hard it is to make that happen. When even Benjamin Baker is afraid to play an old man, he says no. I want to give kudos to Cats. Cats was very down. And I gotta give some love to Piggy as well. Piggy is pretty much always down as well. But all these other nerds, terrible to schedule things with. Piggy and Cats are warriors. Roddy is a warrior. Everybody else, cowards. It's been very difficult to get anything going there. We have a pretty early Robo. I'm very happy to see this shield battery, by the way, guys. Without the shield battery, I'd be so concerned that we just die like 5 seconds before blink. We are running. No. This is actually terrible, guys. This is really terrible. No, we cannot win this fight. Oh, yeah. What a moment to walk away from our battery. I mean, at least blink is done in 6 seconds from now. He's going to try to I thought I heard a recall. Maybe we can still recall this bad boy. Well, we have a couple of gateways finishing up. I don't even know if we win this, but at least we have blink now. So maybe with blink we're going to be fine. But you guys can see how difficult it is to win these fights. Scan goes down, probe dies, observer dies, and this has already been an amazing move out. The Cyclones are not even all that expensive, so even when you end up losing these three, at this point you're already happy. Oh my god, he blinks forward to the low ground as well, gets the Cyclone, loses 2 Stalkers. It's a disaster. It is a disaster. A single move out away from the shield battery is very, very painful. Good news is that our Terran player was going up to 3 bases as well, and is obviously investing in an upgrade, building more factories, so the game will go on, but the units lost resource step kind of tells you the entire tale here. 625 minerals down on the side of the Terran, 1425 on the side of the Protoss, and the Protoss is down 5 units. That is, well, 5 units, I meant 5 workers, obviously. They are units too. But hey, maybe if we spam Zealots and Stalkers, we can trade a whole lot better than we did in that game 1. In game 1, I just really felt it was not going anywhere ever, because the Phoenix investment is so large and he just got nothing done with it. I think this is still playable if you can somehow get a great fight. Now, how are you going to get that great fight? That I don't really know yet. And I hope to just come back to you guys later on. A nice surround, a Zealot flank, little wraparound, hog the Cyclones to death. Maybe some great Zealot run-bys. I want to say I don't think there's a whole lot that you can get done here, but then I also think of the best Protoss players in the world, and maybe they will always just be right on the edge of the Cyclones, right? Run in range, fire a volley, one-shot a Cyclone, disengage immediately, and try to rinse and repeat that. Because obviously, Stalkers are amazing, but you do want to get some value out of the fact that you have Blink. Because if we're just going to keep them at home, then we may as well not have Blink. Stats Festy with the 11 months. Let's go, amigo. Thank you. I do love the very early Ghost Academy. I feel like this is often hard to afford, but it seems that the man has found a build order where he can actually afford it easily. Spamming 9 Cyclones at a time. 9 Cyclones with +1, and we already have a Ghost Academy, and I think our first Ghost is out. Okay. I mean, I just don't really know yet how some of these fights are going to go. It really comes down to micro. Obviously, the Cyclones want to lock on and keep on moving. The Cyclones never really just want to stand there and fight unless you just have way more than the Protoss. The problem with Zealots is that Zealots don't have too much micro potential. You just kind of A-move and pray and you hope that they get a lot of hits off. I think the only way to really make the Zealot shine against Cyclones is to have like random squads of Zealot maybe. And then hope that you can get the surround, get the wraparound. And find the engagements that you're looking for. I mean, I look at the production tab and you just see 9 Cyclones and a Ghost. It just looks very intimidating. An early War Prism has snuck into the main base, but the Cyclones are pretty decent against Zealots. Alluton is going to try to make magic happen. I really think that Alluton is misreading the situation here a little bit. Alluton seems to think that his army is going to do fine and that his army is better. I don't think that's the case at all. And I think that he has recently now drawn the same conclusion. He's like, okay. Even though these things don't have a lot of HP, they're pretty good and they're hard to kill in those numbers. And even a War Prism in the main, like, it's just not that deadly against this kind of mech. Because you're building 9-10 Cyclones at a time. So at any given moment, you have units spawning that are immediately good to deal with the Zealots and the War Prism in your main. Well, in the past, if you play mech, it's like, alright, a tank is like 20 seconds away from popping. Or 2 Hellions come out, but that doesn't really do a whole lot by itself. It just feels that even War Prism play, it's still very good, but I think it's a little bit weaker. This Protoss army is simply too tiny. Alluton is going to try to breach that gap and transition into double Robo and the Robo Bay, but it's going to be very hard to stay alive for that long, especially because we don't have a battery here. And I think without a battery, we really don't have much of a chance. Cyclones are going to go for it with +1. The probes are going to go through the meat grinder. Still a War Prism on the other side of the map, but these trades are just phenomenal for the Terran. It's not even much of a fight. War Prism in the main base gets picked off as well. 1 Ghost does die to these Zealots, but Alluton losing his entire army, losing the probes and losing the 4th Nexus. I'm afraid it's too much to recover from. Ordering from a new Chinese restaurant, what would you go to be? Nasi Goreng met Babi Pongwang? Or Fuyung Hai, one of the two? Those are my 2 favorites. I don't know if that makes any sense to you, but in the Netherlands, those are classics. Absolute classics. At least we've got Disruptors on the way, guys, and we can try to pray for miraculous Novas, but I'd be lying if I told you guys I believe. I'm not even sure like how good this Disruptor is against all these Cyclones. When I had Disruptors a few times, I just kept on dying, but that could also be because I'm not a very good Disruptor player. Can you type it, please? I have no idea how you type those things, mate. I know how to order it, but I need a menu card in front of me before I can write that. Maybe there is someone. Oh, Nova from the high ground, guys! That is one hell of a Nova. I mean, that is about as good of a Nova as you're going to land. That second Nova was a bit less good because we blew up our own Stalkers there. First Nova was 10 out of 10, though. Why no Immortals? He probably felt that he was too far behind. Can we land another Nova from the high ground? Come on, mate. Come on. Ah, shame. I think he didn't go for Immortals because he probably felt he was too far behind to go Immortals. And he needed a great comeback unit. And I think Immortals are very good in games where you're ahead or even. But, yeah, if you're behind, the Immortal's not going to bring it back. 1 or 2 Immortals will not kill 20 Cyclones. So then you need to pray and hope that you can land big Novas. Nexus gets cancelled, and now a bunch of Cyclones are just going to go for a drive-by into the natural. I mean, these are things that I have just never said before in my life. But the Cyclone drive-by into the natural is apparently devastating. 25 probes just evaporate in the blink of an eye. You can't just warp in a couple of Zealots to deal with this. Who needs Hellions, guys? Who needs Hellion run-bys when you can just rally a bunch of Cyclones into the main base of your opponent and kill 35 probes and a Dark Shrine? I mean, that Nova is good, but jeez. We're down to 26 probes. This is kind of game over. Cyclones are better in drive-bys than Hellions are? What the hell? He's gonna kill another Stalker? I mean, this game is over, guys. It's a wrap. 80 SCVs against 26 probes. Alluton made one big mistake in the early game, moving his Stalkers away from the shield battery. And I think he's been behind ever since. Then he tried to make some magic happen with a War Prism in the main and some multi-prong with his army in the third. But this Cyclone, this is so freaking quick that, like, when we think about mech being immobile, mech is not that immobile. With these Stalkers. Close your eyes. F's in the chat for the Stalkers. Can I get some Puck Nemos? I believe that. What is it again? Puck Puck People, Puck Nemo, whatever that cute new emoji is. That is basically what we need here. Alluton is on a bit of copium. He is gonna try to bring out some very fast balls, guys. Disruptus waiting in the speed zone. Just so we can say one time.
Oh my, how fast are those balls? What?
They're very quick through the acceleration zones, guys. But no matter how quick and how big these Novas are, they're not gonna turn around the outcome of this game. I think it's inevitable. Bit of hopium, bit of copium, but hey, I don't mind it. Why not just try? Try not to give yourself one or two few good moments. Land some big shots. Or if your opponent doesn't move out at all, like maybe you can get somewhat close to maxing out on 3 bases, but that is obviously more than a pipe dream. Nasi goreng is indeed fried rice, yeah. I think it's a little bit different than the fried rice that I order on the when I'm traveling, but yes, that is basically what it is. It is amazing, though. Few more stalkers dying. ZaRDieNT is maxed out. Or ZaRDieNT. Building 3 tanks at a time. He's got +3 on the way as well for his mech army. And I kind of like to see him just end this. How much supply is a Cyclone? I think it's 2, right? Cyclone's 2 supply, guys. Blinking forward into a couple of tanks and into a command center that's morphing into an orbital. And that will be all zeroed after 15 minutes. It is ZaRDieNT who takes the 2-1 lead. The games have been somewhat one-sided so far, guys. I think that's the best way to put it. Like, I have noticed as well that I think there are plenty of starts that Protoss can go for. And I think there are a couple of things that are very viable and can even get you ahead against these builds. But I've also realized that if you make one crucial error in the early game, it kind of feels that it's all over. It was very painful to see Alluton basically have a good start, have I think a decent build order in theory, but then when he moved away from that battery and the Stalkers were away from the battery and the Cyclones were in the middle of it, right before blink, I think at that point it's almost game over, and that's obviously very brutal, but I think those are just mistakes that you cannot make against these mech builds. I have made them in almost every single ladder game I've played, and I keep on learning one new game-ending mistake. There are a whole bunch of them, guys, and I think this was one of them. I'm not sure if I want to go in the queue against that mass cyclone stuff. I think that Pig has made a video for you guys on YouTube on how to deal with mass cyclones at a slightly lower level. So, not talking about Clem playing mass cyclone, but I think for lower level players, I think that Pig has released a guide for you guys to spam Immortal Zealot, and I think that will do pretty good. But yeah, if you want to go for Blink, you obviously need to make damn sure that you have a really good read of the on the game and a really good understanding of how many Cyclones you're going up against, where they are in the early game. And yeah, as I've said many times by now, whenever I play ladder, guys, I've been a bit too busy. I've been casting too much, so I have not played as many games as I would like to. But when I'm playing, I keep on losing. But I don't feel like I lose, because I think the Cyclone is ultra busto. I do think it's very easy to lose against them, but I think imbalanced and a unit that's easy to execute and easy to win with is not necessarily the same in my eyes. And yeah, I keep on making mistakes. But I also feel that these are often unforced errors, and I think I can do better. So I hope that Alluton is also learning from his mistakes, and hopefully he can do better here in Game 4.
Round 4. Fight!
In the top left side of Oceanborn, we are looking at the main base of the Finnish Protoss. He's down 0-1. Overall, a bit of a rough best of 5, but he did get the job done in Game 2 with the 4-gate Blink Stalker. And hopefully we can do that one more time. This is Alluton. In the bottom right side, we are looking at the main base of our mech-enjoying Terran nerd. Getting a lot of success with the Cyclones so far. This is ZaRDieNT. 2-1 up in his debut in the BASILISK Big Brain Bouts. First time ever, guys, for both of these players. I always try to invite some new players. I cannot do it every single Friday, because sometimes there is just not a good match imaginable. Or I don't want to invite players that I know nothing about. Because if I know nothing about them, then I don't know if they are lying about the MMR, or if it's legit. I don't know if the game is going to be good or not. So I'd like to at least see them play either ladder or be familiar with them or see them in different tournaments. But I do try to give as many people a chance as possible on the Friday night. Thank you, Ayogu, for gifting a subby to the man who challenged me the other day. I didn't forget about that, Rikas. You know, Rikas, if you want to battle the old man, mate, I hope you know that the old man is always ready. Hello, Ray Rain. Is Storm a good response to mass cyclones? Well, I actually saw Deka. Deka is the French Protoss that we had in the Big Brain Bouts last week. And he seems to be a big Storm believer. He went Storm, I think, in at least 3 out of 5 games against Juggernaut Jason, and maybe even 4 out of 5. And yeah, he actually won game 1 very convincingly. But it also was partly because Juggernaut Jason was attacking rocks with 20 Cyclones. And then Deka surrounded the Cyclones and dropped Storms on top of them. It turns out that if all the Cyclones are attacking a rock and you storm them, Storm is really good. But I think that goes for every unit. So it could be good, but I haven't seen it enough yet to tell you guys for sure that it's good or not. I'm not really a Storm believer, but Deka seemed to be a believer, and I feel that Deka played pretty damn good last week. Ravi with the 500 bits, and he's not even trolling me. Man, that almost makes me worried, Ravi. Is everything alright at home, mate? I hope you know that you can always reach out to me in the DMs if there is something wrong. I'm here for you, mate. I love you. Because if Ravi is just giving me some bits and he's not saying anything mean or he's not trolling me, I'm getting concerned. The DMs are always open for you, Ravi. I hope you know that. I love you, mate. Or he's drunk. It's too early. Way too early. Reaper hops into the main base and ZaRDieNT gets a scout off. He knows what he's going up against. Hasn't seen the Robo yet, and he's got a cloaked Banshee on the way. Now, in every other game, Alluton has built a Robo, and he's going to build a Robo again. I think the timing of this Robo is perfectly fine. I like this start in theory, guys, for Alluton. I don't see any issues with the start that he's currently going for. But I appreciate it, Ravi. The kind words. I know you mean it. Yeah, I feel like it's super nice for you guys to always have the Friday night content that you can rely on. Now, of course, there are often other tournaments as well happening on the Friday night. To know that there is always a Big Brain Bouts to look forward to. $500 on the line. Not spread out over 17 weeks. But, you know, awesome opportunity for the guys. And I can tell you that all these nerds that I invite, or at least almost all of them, are always preparing and will do their best, do a bit of homework. Because in StarCraft 2 you don't often have the opportunity to play a single best of 5 for guaranteed prize money. And obviously that's gonna make you put in the work. Try to just have an amazing showing. Let's take a look where the observers are, guys. We have no observer yet. That's a little bit painful because Banshee Cloak is available. Now hopefully we at least have a chrono. Very quick response. Saw the shimmer of the Banshee before the Banshee even fired. Already we pulled the probes away. So a lot of indirect damage with all the lost mining time. But losing only 2 probes is pretty acceptable. I feel like Alluton knows where it is. We have a shield battery here. I think these probes might not get healed up. I think if you fire at a probe that's right here, you can kill it. That is exactly what ZaRDieNT is doing. He's also rallying, guys. Marines and tanks and a Cyclone to the other side of the map. And now I'm starting to get a little bit concerned because these Stalkers are just chilling at home. The Stalkers are now supposed to be kiting this Terran army. They're not kiting this Terran army. We do have a shield battery here. Well, I think with overcharge we should be fine. A little bit of micro. I want to say I think we're fine. I like that he's going for the tank immediately, guys. I think that's a 10 out of 10 call. Snipes the Banshee as well. That one Cyclone does not have the same power as all the other Cyclones. I don't think that forward blink was quite necessary, but it's working out, so who cares? Losing 7 probes was wiping the floor with the entire Terran army. Now the only thing we need to do is take care of this last leftover Banshee that's in the main. Worker-wise, we're not in a very hot shape, very hot spot. But when it comes to the army that we currently have, 11 Stalkers. Yeah, where the observers at, mate? Okay, it's here. Stalkers are already making their way to the other side of the map, guys. There is literally just one tank, right? No, the tank. Where is that tank? Oh, man, we could have gone for that tank. That would have been big. Instead, Alluton is gonna work on this command center. Now he has no high ground vision here because he kept the observer at home. Unfortunately, he cannot blink. Gonna see the Marines, gonna see the tank. Will he blink for the tank? I wouldn't hate a blink for that tank, and he is gonna blink. One more tank is gonna show up. The tank is gonna stay unsieged. I have Alluton just had, he's gonna blink for that tank too. Repair bait! Oh, why are you not repairing? Oh my goodness, he's pulling an upper 3 Zelda, guys. ZaRDieNT is not repairing his tank, and he's now down to 1 Marine. Oh yeah, and he's gonna tap out despite the fact that he has triple CC. Did not repair his tank, did not siege the tank. Alluton ties things up after a 7-minute game where I feel like not even necessarily everything went right. But the calls that he had to make in the heat of the moment were right. I can't believe you made me open Reddit. I don't think I did. What did I do? What did I do, Rainer? When did I ever tell you to open Reddit? I was checking your Discord. Dude, wait. Sorry guys, my neighbor has a package here. Oh damn it, I have to host as well. I forgot that Indy is not here. Indy is betraying me tonight, but that's okay. Side Delta. Create with mod. Hey, first series of the night going to distance. Maybe not the most memorable games of all time, but we always like a best of 5 that goes to distance. Alright. Ready. Side Delta, guys. I didn't know there were 70 comments flaming me on Reddit because I lied. I don't think lying is the right term. I didn't read Reddit, by the way. That is you who opened Reddit, Rainer. I did not open Reddit. I just watched your video. What have I done? Why you say F me for, Rainer? I didn't even open Reddit myself. Why you say F me? F those other guys in the Discord. All I said is that I watch your interview because that's what I do as a teammate, as a captain, as a friend. And while watching your interview, I realized that you forgot about Valencia. Because I cared about your performance there, so I remembered. But I never said open Reddit. I didn't even open Reddit myself. Roddy, did you hear about Pandora Gate? No. What the hell is Pandora Gate? Alright, final round, guys. Opening match of the Big Brain Bouts number 42. I see my man Lino in the chat as well. Servus, mein Freund.
Final round. Fight!
Top left side of site Delta. We are looking at the main base of our Finnish Protoss player. It is Alluton. Finding some success with the Blinky boys. In the bottom right side, also making his debut on the Friday night, winning his games very convincingly. But in the games that went wrong, it was also kind of clear that there are some holes in his play too. This is the Russian Terran player, ZaRDieNT. But by the way, like I only caught that second part of the interview briefly because I was in the car and there was a bit of noise. But wasn't it the StarCraft historian who said like, didn't you have a great run in the GSL? And was it you who said you have quarterfinals, or did he say quarterfinals and did you just say yeah? Because I actually thought it was he. I'm not sure. I didn't really pay that attention, but I thought that he said, did you make like quarterfinals? And then I think you said like yeah, but he said it, I think. Oh, the interviewer or Rainer? Yeah, no. I think that is a very easy slip up to make, because what people on Reddit maybe don't really understand is that for you, round of 16 or quarterfinals is kind of the same. It's not something that's ultra memorable. When you've won Game as 8, when you've won IEM Katowice, then obviously the most recent GSL performance was a bigger deal. Back then you were very young, but you did win that first group stage. And I remember people often ask me like, Roddy, what's the best StarCraft 2 game you've ever seen? And I think it's impossible to say one game is the best game I've ever seen. But I think Raynor against Classic, when Raynor was still a little baby boy, on Lost and Found in GSL Code S, that was actually a legendary game. And I very vividly remember watching that like at the edge of my seat, being like, oh, ooh, oh my god, that game is crazy. Like, it was legit very good. That was opening round, then he advanced, and then in round of 16, Rainer won his first series in GSL Codes. In his second series, he was 1-0 up against Maru, and then completely dominated the Turex, and was light years ahead on Acid Plant, but then unfortunately threw, because he was young and inexperienced, and then it all went wrong. But I think then it's an easy slip-up to make. I have no idea why people think somebody would lie about where they finished in a tournament when we all know that it's ultra easy to check. Obviously, nobody's gonna lie in his right mind about where they finished in a tournament. Like, imagine if I just sit there and be like, hey guys, you guys remember that one season I did really good at the ESL Masters? I made like quarterfinals. You guys would be like, well, no, Roddy, I don't remember. Let me go ahead and check and read it up. Like, Roddy, you lost in the final round of the qualifiers. You weren't in the quarterfinals at all. But like, oh, well, damn it, I thought I had you guys. It's like, that's not something that anyone in his right mind would ever lie about. It's a mistake. Yeah, I mean, I think it's all ultra obvious, but I mean, like, Reddit can obviously be awesome, and I don't want to necessarily put all the people on Reddit in the same category because it's just too big of a subreddit for that. I think you have very reasonable people there with normal takes and people that are very involved in StarCraft. And then you also have people who literally just open the subreddit to write some mean stuff and haven't played a StarCraft 2 game in 5 years. There's a very decent amount of them. Or the people are like, oh, no, I only play Brood War and stuff. They keep on just telling you to play Brood War and not StarCraft 2. And I'm like, I get it. Like, okay, you love Brood War. Other people love StarCraft 2. Like, move on. Anyway, guys, let me go ahead and enjoy the final game between Alluton and ZaRDieNT. $60 for the winner, $15 for the loser. It's been a close and competitive best of 5 so far. We've gone to distance in our opening series, which is not always easy. Are you gonna skip the qualify? Oh, you mean for F1? Yeah, I mean, I didn't even think about it, mate. But yeah, it's a sprint race weekend. I mean, obviously, I'm casting StarCraft tonight, so yeah. But now at least I have something to look forward to when I'm done. So that makes me happy. Thank you for reminding me, mate. I have a dinner and F1 to look forward to. Woohoo! Reaper gets a good scout off. Stalker does pick it off. We're spamming Cyclones, guys. Triple CC Cyclone spam. Work accounts, pretty close right now. We gotta be very, very, very careful with our forward blinks. I hope Alluton knows that. I think you guys know that by now. I know that. I've learned the hard way. Let's not blink into the main base and thinking that we can get away with this. Maybe, I don't know. Can we do that? I really don't know. I just don't know how these fights are gonna go. I think I like staying passive and just kind of getting some value out of defensive blinks. I think forward blinks are so risky because the DPS of Cyclones can be crazy high. I think the Stalkers win that fight with defensive micro, yeah, but a forward blink, I wouldn't be 100% certain. Nice scan here by ZaRDieNT. Taking out observers, very, very important in this matchup. Also makes it a lot harder for Alluton to figure out where he wants to position his Stalkers. Fun opening bout here, guys. Obviously, out of the 4 matches that we have tonight, this is the lowest MMR match overall, but I feel like I am watching StarCraft that I am very familiar with based upon my own games, and I think that's a pretty good thing for the opening series of the night. Yeah, we have a very quick transition into Disruptors. Maybe Alluton felt like, hey, I was in a lot of trouble on Solaris, but I still landed big Novas. Maybe he feels that ZaRDieNT is not all that good against Disruptors. I do think this is a pretty good map for tanks, by the way, as well, though. And if I was ZaRDieNT, and if I know that my opponent is going for a quick double robo with Disruptors, I'd just go spam tanks for a while. It's the lowest of the 4 series, though, Subtle. That's what I mean. I'm not saying that it's low MMR overall. I'm actually saying that I think the games have been pretty high level. Especially for the opening series of the night. The next, obviously, throughout the night, the level always gets higher unless we've got a special anniversary one-off unique big brain bout. But normally, the level always goes up with every single best of 5. The next 2 nerds are around 5,800, which is definitely a little bit higher than these guys are. But that doesn't mean that this is low MMR. It's just lower. 5.4 is lower than 5.8, mate. I don't know if we're looking for controversy here, but this is kind of what it is. 67 workers apiece, 68 army supply against 61. First tanks are in production, but it's going to take a little while. Nova goes forward. This is obviously where it's important for ZaRDieNT to buy some time and not eat a big Nova to the face. Will you be co-casting the ATP playoffs, Roddy? With ATP playoffs, are we talking about tennis? Like, are you asking me if I'm going to commentate tennis? I mean, Djokovic's pretty good. Alcaraz, amazing. All things Protoss, okay. Oh, Disrupt is here all by themselves. Can they fire, guys? Yes, they can fire. I will do some of that, yeah, if the schedule allows it. I told them that if I'm online and if I'm ready to cast, I will gladly cast a couple games with them, yeah. Because I like those guys. They're all awesome. Bully is fantastic. Gemini is a legend. So, yeah. I'd love to hang out with them and have a bit of fun. I wonder what would have happened there if we would have just right-clicked all the Cyclones next to those Disruptors. But maybe it's a little bit too risky to figure that out here in Game 5. What is the tank count? It's still just 1, though, guys. We're just building 1 tank at a time. The tank is not even sieged up. I would definitely siege up that tank. I thought the deal was you playing. I will gladly play too. If you guys want me to play, I'll play. But wouldn't I be too good? I'll play. Whose team am I joining? I want to be on Bully's team. Can I be on Bully's team? Ooh, move your Cyclones, mate. No, he's not moving the Cyclones. That's a lot of Cyclone supply going down. And the tank's getting picked off as well. A beautiful attack at first by Alluton. But now we still need to be careful because Cyclones are good. That is not a sweet Nova. Sweet baby, Jesus.
Oh my, how fast are those balls? What?
Disruptor's getting recalled. Will that one go up? No, 6 split. I don't know if it actually went off or not, but the split there was sexy. I mean, it felt that a lot of things went really good there for Alluton, but now he's still down in supply. What does that mean? Cyclone's just very cheap, eh? Cyclones are just so freaking cheap. How are Void Rays with Flux Veins? Did anybody have any games with Void Rays and Flux Veins against Cyclones? Are they good with Flux Veins against Cyclones? Is there a world where maybe you can hide like double, triple Stargate, Void Ray, Flux Veins and all of a sudden show up with a whole bunch of them? No shot? Oh no! Never go full Tyson Fury, guys. Do not uppercut yourself. Alluton lets a Purification Nova go off in the middle of his Stalker army. That's a lovely little donation. And now all of a sudden we are down 30 supply. Upgrades are a little bit late as well, but I don't know if upgrades are all that important when we play games like this. I think the balls are going to be a lot more important than the upgrades on the Stalkers. Stalkers do find a little opening. Find tank, 3 tanks, all of them on siege, baby. There's 1 tank in the back that's going to be able to get a couple of shots up, but okay, we're going to lose so much though. Hellions with blue flames are going to morph into Hellbats. A little bit underwhelming. Novas getting in range of this army. The Nexus dies. The Hellbats are very underwhelming, guys. The most underwhelming Hellbats I have seen in a while. Eventually, they will get that cannon. I think we also could have killed 22 probes here, but okay. At the very end there, guys, he's like, you know what? I'll kill a couple probes. Whoa, that's so many Disruptors and we're gonna fire, but that's a good shot, though, sweet baby Jesus. And how's the Terran always up in supply when I see Purification Novas go off that are that freaking big? Over and over and over again. Who's winning? A lot of Slobberknocker. Game 5. Big Brain Bouts. Opening series of the night. I don't know who's winning. Wait, what is this? I didn't even know there was a base here. I've never seen these bases, guys. I have legitimately never seen those bases. Oh man, that's kind of risky. This is either amazing or terrible. Alright, we're gonna blink. We're gonna try to reset the tank count one more time. There are still 6 tanks. I have no idea where they are. Maybe stuck in the main. One disruptor. Oh, one shot is all it takes. Falling in love with Protoss. Possibilities. Who needs all these other disruptors, guys? Who needs all these other disruptors? Where are all these tanks? What the hell is this? What the hell is even that, mate? Why do we have 8 tanks chilling in the corner of our main? As he does get on top of a couple of disruptors. It is an absolute clown fiesta. This is the kind of stuff that we are looking for in the opening series of the night. And I think the man just realized, yeah, I saw your tanks, mate. I don't know if writing to your opponent is the right thing to do, but alright, we have a whole bunch of... Does kill a Nexus and avoids a Nova. Yeah. We are gaming, guys. $60 for the winner of this best of 5. And one man just realized... Oh, Jesus. Hashtag rollout. Proper tribute to my World of Tanks days, guys. Alluton is about to see a whole bunch of tanks. Forward blink, gets a Cyclone, gets a couple of the tanks. Where are the disruptors? They're on the left side. That's a lot of stalkers going down. Who has lost more? Alluton has lost more resources in this game. I think this is a pretty good map, by the way, for Terran. I don't know. Whenever I see Terran on this map, I feel like they've got a lot of very good spots to do gnarly things to the Protoss army. Not sure how we're gonna battle all these tanks. Maybe with some great Novas. Can we split? Oh, can we split up the disruptors? Okay, are we gonna blink on top of all these tanks? Are we really gonna do that? No, he's not gonna do that. That is a very big volley of the tanks. I love the disruptors low speed. The Cyclones could go for it, guys. The Cyclones are thinking about it. The Cyclones don't go for it. What they instead go for is a lot of probes. Well, and they'll get that. Alluton thinking about a counterattack. At least the Stalkers finally have some upgrades. +2 attack, +2 armor. There is a planetary fortress in the bottom side of the map. I think we should be able to kill this. Repair is good, but we're not going to use it apparently. Oh, fuck. A few more Novas. Man, I've seen more big purification Novas in this game alone than I've seen in my own ladder games in over a month. I never land Novas like this. I only dream about Novas like this. Alluton has landed big Nova after big Nova, but he's still in a bit of a pickle. Down 45 supply. But hey, with this many disruptors, I don't think we can say that this game is over. If we lose all of the disruptors, the game is over. Though, hey, the Dark Shrine is finally going to kick in. But the scan was still active and the DTs die before they get on top of the tanks. That's really unfortunate, man, because DTs only need like 1 or 2 seconds to get on top of these tanks. And if you then scan, the tanks will deal friendly fire as well. So that was low-key a very big moment. A real shame that those Dark Templars walked in when the scan was still active. Stalkers by themselves are not going to get the job done. Uh-oh. We are in a bit of trouble right now. We're going to run into all these Cyclones. Where are the disruptors? I think they're on the left side. I mean, EMP is still so good too. Yeah, me do the Twitch. I think obviously that Alluton is heavily losing this game. But I still think there is a tiny chance if he lands very big Purification Novas. But if we lose all of our disruptors, there is no chance. Now I'm going to agree with you, Wing. And I believe that the opening best of 5 of the night belongs to ZaRDieNT. We've had a lot of great moments with disruptors. We've also had 1 or 2 painful moments with disruptors. I think this was a very fun game, a very chaotic game. It was all over the shop. But in the end, $60 will belong to ZaRDieNT. He's going to win on his debut. Alluton blinks forward one more time, but he's going to lose every single Stalker. Well, no, a couple of Stalkers survive actually, but has lost his main. Has killed the tanks, but has lost pretty much all of his mining bases. The Robos. We're gonna try to warp in a few more DTs, but it is all over, guys. The opening series of the night belongs to Terran. Perhaps the night belongs to Cyclones. We'll keep an eye on the rest of the night to see if that is true or not. Fun series though. First few games, not all that fantastic, but this right here, this is everything that I want to see from guys around this level. Just gloves up, swing for the fences. They both had their moments. Had some funny moments, chaotic moments. This was a StarCraft in its purest form. We even blew up our own Stalkers. Had a little bit of everything. The night belongs to you. Hey. Well, that's just kind of sexy. Don't know where this conversation is going, but I thought the night belongs to Cyclones or Lovers. Or Terrans. Maybe all the knights belong to Terrans right now. We were incredibly good in timing our GGs, guys, in the WTL Code S early today. If you guys have missed it, I suggest going into my VOD. I nailed a couple of those GGs. I'm kind of struggling with this one. Maybe I can do a final countdown and then we will get it. 8, 7, 6. Damn it! I cannot do it. GG gets called. It is ZaRDieNT who wins the opening best of 5 of the night. $60 go to him. Alluton will still get 15. 1-5. Fun series, guys. Especially that final game. Chaos in its purest form. That was a little bit of everything. Since now we are actually a little bit behind schedule, I'm going to try to keep it short. I'm going to settle that prediction and immediately start up our next prediction. It's time for some ZVT. It's time for America versus Sweden. Foxe versus Fjonty Boy. Thank you to Basilisk for giving us 10 subbies for that opening series of the night. I guess when it goes to distance, hey, that was pretty good. That was a very close prediction as well. Means that I also did good in that regard. ZaRDieNT, guys, the underdog. Hey. That's now 5 series in a row that the underdog has won. Last week, guys, I have done this tournament for 42 weeks. And the last week was the first time ever that chat predicted all 4 series wrong. Now, it's 5 in a row. This has never happened before. Unprecedented scenes in the Big Brain Bouts. Chat has lost its magic touch. Perhaps you guys can get back on the winning track. Fjont versus Foxer, best of 5. Fjont, Swedish, Zergi, 5.8k. Foxer, USA, Terran, 5.8k. According to Rainer, 6.2, but Rainer is not always right. He's very often right, but not always right. I'll give you guys 15 minutes, but we'll take a tiny break. Searching for the hashtag. The pound. What is it? Hashtag or pound? So chat, 0-5. Big Brain Bouts. What's up, chat? Are you guys ever going to predict anything correctly again? If I was either Fjont or Foxer, I really hope that everybody votes for the other guy. Because streaks often continue for a little while, and it's already one hell of a streak. I'm going to take a very tiny break, guys, and after that, I'll be back with a TVZ between 2 excellent nerds, around 5,800 MMR. I'll see you guys real soon. Yeah, I remember you said that, Method Chobo. I don't know if I believe you. Who did you vote for here in the first series? Did you vote? Anyway, be right back. See you guys soon. Hype, hype, hype.